Welcome back, everybody. This is Latin's Fight Picks. Today we will be going over the fight card for UFC 308 Topuria versus Holloway, coming this Saturday, October 26th in Abu Dhabi. So, as usual, we will start off with the prelims and we'll work our way to the main event. So, let's start. First fight of the night, I think, actually it's kind of moved around, is one that I just added recently, was Rinat Fakhretdinov versus Carlos Leal. Rinat Fakhretdinov, 6 feet tall, 74-inch reach, 22 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 33 years old. Carlos Leal, 5'11", 75-inch reach, 21 wins, 5 losses, 30 years old. Carlos Leal is the guy they just pulled up from the LFA. He's got a good record. I watched him fight. He seems like he's, good striker, good on the ground, fairly well versed. Has fought some decent competition. I don't know if it's UFC level competition, but some decent competition. Rinat Fakhretdinov, we know he's a high level wrestler. Lots of pressure, lots of wrestling, decent striking, decent chin. Had some questions with regards to cardio. The last time, he seems like he really pushes the pace to the point where he gets tired. Although he did beat Dalby last time, and I was really impressed. I had a bet on Dalby. It was a close fight, and it was in the same place. I think it was in Abu Dhabi, in the Middle East anyways. And Rinat got a really close split decision win. And there's going to be a recurring theme here. I think to some degree that plays into it, where the location, the crowd, etc., might play into some close decisions. I can't say it always happens, but I've seen it happen. So in this case, these guys are both coming in on short notice. I think they're both going to be in about the same good shape. I think Rinat Fakhretdinov is definitely a more proven fighter at the higher level. I think he's had some close fights, when he fought Dalby, but Dalby, I consider Dalby a really tough fight for anybody, and I think they're being too hard on him. I think Rinat wins this one. I haven't seen Leal's grappling. I see a lot of striking from him, although he can grapple. We haven't seen it, and anybody who's fought Fakhretdinov is being taken down. So we'll see exactly how good his takedown defense is. And if he can basically wear out Fakhretdinov just by Fakhretdinov trying to take him down. So that's going to be on Fakhretdinov. Decent to high level confidence, mid-level confidence, I would say. It's hard to tell just because it's a last minute fight for everybody. Moving on. That's Ismail Nardiev versus Bruno Silva. Ismail Nardiev, 6 feet tall, 74-inch reach, 23 wins, 7 losses, 28 years old. Bruno Silva, 6 feet tall, 74-inch reach, 23 wins, 11 losses, 35 years old. Bruno Silva, he's on a tail end of his career. He's 35 years old. He's got power. He got some takedowns. He can get back up when he gets taken down. He's very well rounded. He's very tough. He's got a lot of power in his punches. Seems like he's fairly durable, but then you see flashes where he gets KO'd by Mearshart, which is unbelievable. When that happened, I totally didn't expect that to happen. And then he comes back. Earlier he fought Pereira to not a draw, but to the fight went the distance, and he lost the decision. And he fought another fellow who was on this. He fought. Who did he fight? I got this on the screen. Hold on a second. I'll tell you exactly who he fought. He fought Shara Magomedov he got dominated as far as he really got outstruck a lot, but he made it a competitive fight. He wasn't supposed to be, even in it, but he managed to take him down. He's fought some pretty big guys. He ended up knocking out Tavares again, a fight that he lost his Meerschaert by getting knocked down and submitted, which totally took me by surprise. Then he KO'd Tavares, which totally took me by surprise. So he's been full of surprises. So I don't have a high degree of confidence on this one. And then he lost against Allen. He's definitely, upper level. Sharamagomedov seems like he's really good striker. And losing to Chris Weidman, everyone kind of comes down on him for that. But I don't know. I know Chris Weidman he doesn't look half bad, to tell you the truth. Even in his striking, he doesn't look that bad at all. So I don't really hold him to that. But it did look, Chris Weidman is kind of worn out. So Bruna kind of looked worn out. But now he's being brought in. The guys they're bringing in to fight him is a guy who's fought in the UFC before. And he's come in as a big underdog and had a big upset. Then the second fight he came in as a big favorite and then he lost. So it seems like whenever this guy's the big favorite or the big underdog, the opposite happens. He seems really well-rounded. Seems like he's got a good wrestling base. He's a good wrestler. He can be taken down. He can be controlled, but he's also got pretty good get-up game. I think it depends on the level of competition that he's against. And he got cut from the UFC. I think he was like 2-2 or something like that. And then he went on into the league, a lower league, and he's had some fights, lower level competition. He has been finished, I think, 1 sub and 1 KO, and he's won some fights. So it's kind of up and down on this one. I don't have a lot of confidence in Ardiev, but it seems like when he fights, when he's on, he's on. But then you got Bruno Silva, who's kind of up and down. So this is a real coin flip fight. I would say he's probably one of my least confident picks. I'm going to go with Bruno Silva just because he has been in the UFC. He might be wearing down, but he's been fighting a higher level competition. I think you could win this by KO. Nardiev has been KO'd. But, and it's in that end of the world where Ismail Nardiev could get a decision. But I'm going to have to lean with Bruno Silva. He is the underdog. And I think it's a coin flip fight in this case. Moving on. Ibo Aslan versus Rafael Cerqueira. Ibo Aslan, 6'3", 77.5-inch reach, 13 wins, 1 loss, 28 years old. Rafael Cerqueira, 6'4", no reach. Oh yeah, because this guy is he's very unknown. It's even hard to find a lot of tape on this guy. I've seen some tape. Yeah, no reach still. I've seen some tape on this guy. Ivo Aslan, I don't think he's a great fighter. I think he's a very low-level UFC fighter. I think that as I was saying, Ivo Aslan, low-level competition, low-level UFC fighter. He seems like he's got a lot of KOs. He goes in swinging. He wants to finish the fight early. He seemed like he went a little later last time. He fought the Pleasure Man, and I think he KO'd him in the 3rd round. I thought that fight was stopped a little early, but he seemed like he went into the 3rd round. He was tired, but he seemed like he could hold out. Cerqueira, he has a lot of finishes, but he has a lot of finishes against very, very low-level competition. It's such a hard guy to gauge. He finishes everybody. Now, either this guy's the real deal and a superstar, or he's just been built up. And I was going through the records of who he's beat, and most of the people that he's beat have got, so the guys who have got good records seem like they fought guys with bad records. So, and other guys have just got bad records. So it's really hard to gauge how good he is. He's a really big, buff, imposing guy. And he seems like he knows what he's doing. I haven't seen him grapple. Apparently he can grapple too. He just seems like he wants to strike. It's going to be a striking affair. Ivo Aslan went from the favorite to the underdog. I don't even know what everyone's basing it on. It's because what you do see is you see Cerqueira dominating really low-level competition. So this one, again, super low confidence, but I'm going to go with Ivo Aslan just because I've seen him fight in the UFC. He beat the Pleasure Man, who was, I don't even know if he's in the UFC, but he was in the UFC, so he was UFC low level at one time, and he ended up KOing him. So this fight's not going to go the distance. Somebody's going to get KO'd. So it's simple as that. I think I'm going to go with Aslan. I'm not a big fan of Aslan, but I don't even know this other guy. So be careful even if you're betting on this fight. Like I said, super low level confidence. If I got to pick somebody, I'm going to pick Aslan. But we don't know anything about this other guy. Well, we do know. He's been knocking people out. So in some other league. Moving on. Farid Basharat versus Victor Hugo. Farid Basharat, 5'8", 71-inch reach, 12 wins, 0 losses, 27 years old. Victor Hugo, 5'7", 71.5-inch reach, 25 wins, 4 losses, 31 years old. Just one more thing about Ibo Aslan. Sorry, and something I should have said. He is Turkish, so he's in from that end of the world. And either this Rafael Cerqueira Usuri 3 is the real deal, or they found a big guy that they think Ibo Aslan can beat, and they had to really dig him up somewhere just so he can get this victory in that end of the world, since he is Turkish. So just another layer to the story from my judgment call on this one. This guy, I think they want him to win. Anyways, moving on. Farid Basharat. We know what Farid brings. He's going to bring consistency. He's going to bring takedowns. He's got decent strikes from the outside, and he's going to outpoint you and win. And both Basharat brothers seems pretty consistent. I think he's the better of the two. He's a huge favorite in this one. You got Victor Hugo, who doesn't put a lot of pressure on you, who seems like he's a really good counter striker, who's well-rounded. His nickname is the Striker, but he can fight on the ground. He's got really good submissions, leg locks, so the guy's very dangerous. So you can't even bet on Farid at minus 725. But Farid Basharat knows how to win fights and outpoint people. And again, he's originally from Afghanistan, again from that end of the world. Victor Hugo, he doesn't throw enough volume, and it's just that it's going to be a lot of Victor Hugo waiting for Basharat to go, and Basharat's going to continue to go because he knows how to outpoint people. He knows how to point fight. He's going to win this on that. He's going to take him down, hold him down, and control him. Victor Hugo's not going to get submitted. He's too good for that, but he's always going to be dangerous. He's going to be dangerous in the striking, but I think Farid Basharat is durable enough to absorb that. But Victor Hugo on the ground, he's dangerous on the ground. So, and I've seen Farid Basharat almost get submitted by Blackshear, and I think he was holding on, and it was end of the round, and it was close. And I think Blackshear took that fight on short notice. So there is a high degree of confidence Basharat's going to outpoint this guy, but there is this crazy chance that Victor Hugo can get a crazy submission, and it can happen. So high degree of confidence that Basharat's going to win, but I've got it on the board where this is not really bettable. So if you're ever going to even bet this fight, I think that you're going to go on the Victor Hugo side with a submission win. Yeah, but it's a long shot. Moving on, Farid Basharat's going to be the pick. Moving on, Kennedy Nchukwi, I think. Nchukwi. Versus Chris Barnett. Nchukwu, 6'5", 83-inch reach, 12 wins, 5 losses, 32 years old. Chris Barnett, 5'9", 75-inch reach, 23 wins, 8 losses, 38 years old. Chris Barnett's old. Chris Barnett's short. Chris Barnett's fun. He likes to throw punches. He's not good on the ground. He's kind of fat. He shouldn't win this fight, right? Kennedy Nchukwu, who knows? I don't even know this fighter. Like every time I bet on him, it's the wrong bet. This guy has beaten really good opponents and lost to bad opponents. And I just don't know who. I don't know if it's a mental issue, but the guy's huge. He's got a good gas tank. He's got super long reach. He's got it all. I don't see where the breakdown is. This guy is really frustrating to watch, because you think he's got all the tools to win, and then he loses against St. Preux, and he couldn't KO St. Preux, and he couldn't finish St. Preux, and we know everybody else is finishing. St. Preux looked like a superstar against him. You know, it was a close fight, but still, St. Preux looked really good against him, and it was a very disappointing loss. I remember he busted a whole bunch of parlays. I mean, talk about a guy I thought was going to definitely win that fight. So what do I know about this guy? He is very unreliable. Don't ever bet on him. That's what I know. But realistically, he should win this fight easily. Having said that, who knows, right? But he's going to be the pick. There's not much to this fight. He's going to be too tall, too long, too good of a jab. He's just so heads and tails above, you know, Chris Barnett. Even though I like Chris Barnett, I think he's fun. Everyone likes cheering for the guy. There's no way. He can't win this fight. Nchukwu is a huge favorite for a reason. He's going to be the pick. High confidence. Don't even bet on it. Moving on, Abus Magomedov versus Bruno Ferreira. Abus Magomedov, 6'2", 78 reach, 26 wins, 6 losses, 1 draw, 34 years old. Bruno Ferreira, 5'10", 72 reach, 12 wins, 1 loss, 31 years old. Abus is going to be 4 inches taller, 6 inches longer. He fights very good. He's got a great front kick. He's got a good jab. He fights good from distance. He has been KO'd before. Bruno Ferreira, only path to victory, as we know, is to KO. He KOs everybody. I don't think he's never won without a KO. So he's KO'd. He has his method of victory is KO. He's a little too short. He seems like he's got good BJJ. He's good on the ground. He can get back up. But at the end of it, it's all about his explosiveness and moving into the pocket really quick and throwing big bombs. And that's how he wins. Abus has been clipped before, but he has the tools to beat this guy. And I think he's going to win by decision. I mean, there is always a chance that Bruno can chin anybody. And that's the danger here. There's a high degree of confidence that the physical ability and the physical stature and Magomed's attributes should win this fight. And Ferreira's got a puncher's chance to knock him out. So I've got a mid to low level confidence that Abus Magomedov should be able to stay out of that one-shot knockout power and win a decision against Ferreira. I don't know if he's going to stop Ferreira, but I think he's going to win a decision. If he can take Ferreira on the ground and control him, I mean, that'd be a path to victory, but Ferreira is hard to control on the ground. He's got good BJJ. He can get back up. And, he got controlled a little bit by Stoltzfus, who's a pretty good grappler. But he was having problems with Stoltzfus standing up. And then eventually he got caught. But Stoltzfus takes a lot of shots. He's got this amazing chin, and he just takes a lot of power. He takes a lot of shots coming into the pocket, and he doesn't seem to care about it. And most of the time it worked. Didn't work that time. But it took a lot of punishment to put him out. And up to that point, Stoltzfus was winning the fight. So Magomedov's going to be the pick. He should win. Ferreira's got a puncher's chance. That one got canceled. Mateusz Rebecki, Muktubek Oralbai. Mateusz Rebecki, 5'7", 66 reach, 19 wins, 2 losses, 0 draws, 31 years old. Oralbai, 5'10", 75.5 reach, 13 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 26 years old. I bet against Oralbai last time, but he fought Elves Brenner, and Elves Brenner is just the stud, man. This guy fights like a dog, man. He's unbelievable. I'm a fan of Elves, and he lost the fight against Oralbai. He seems like he had his moments. He was really coming on in the third. Oralbai seemed like he really gassed in the third, but he was really dominating in the first. So Mateusz Rebecki, again, I think he's got the same problem. I think he's going to go guns a-blazing in the first 2, and I think he gasses in the third as well. Now, looking at these guys, I think Oralbai is going to be he's a really good wrestler. I think the only path to victory for Rebecki is wrestling. I think he's a powerful striker, but he throws a lot of looping shots, and You know, he was really exposed last time he fought Ferreira. You know, he does get caught with some shots, especially as he gets tired and the punches come slower and more looping. Horobai's got okay striking. He seems like he's got really good wrestling as well. I think he's just going to be too long. He's going to be a little too big for Arbeski in there. And I think the first round's going to go, you know, they're going to go all out, and it's going to be a matter of who's going to win these first round, second round, and hold on to win the fight in the third round. There's a chance Arbeski can get stopped. He's been stopped before where he's getting gassed and, you know, ground and pounded or submitted. I can't remember if he got submitted, but he was being pounded on, and then I think he got submitted. What was it? No, it was a TKO. But it was late in the third round. I think this fight's going to go all the way. I think Orobai is going to be able to win the exchanges on the feet because he's going to be much longer, even though he's not a great striker. But like I said, neither is Arbeski. And I think Orobai is a really good wrestler. And Arbeski's only path to victory is to take somebody on the ground and either ground and pound them or just lie on top of them. So Orobai is going to be the pick. Pretty high level confidence. I don't really see a lot in Arbeski. You know, I haven't been a fan. So moving on, Jeff Neal versus Rafael Dos Anjos. Jeff Neal, 5'11", 75-inch reach, 15 wins, 6 losses, 34 years old. Rafael Dos Anjos, 5'8", 70-inch reach, 32 wins, 16 losses, 39 years old. I was looking for a reason to bet Dos Anjos. I really like Dos Anjos. I bet on Dos Anjos against, what's his name? Luque. And, you know, I mean, Dos Anjos is the better mixed martial artist. But in that fight, he was too small. And I think we're going to run into the same problem as this one. He's too small. He's really talented. He's 39 years old. He still looks really good. But Jeff Neal, even though he doesn't look like Jeff Neal, and I think he's been through a lot of wars, he's got great takedown defense, and he's a pretty big guy. No one's been able to I don't think anybody's been able to take him down. I think quite a few high-level guys were trying to take him down, haven't been able to take him down. I think Rafael Dos Anjos is going to run into the same problem, but he's an excellent striker, excellent boxer. I think he's going to win this fight. I can't see Dos Anjos at 39 years old and being so undersized in this division beating Jeff Neal. I think he's a good fighter. I just think he can't compete with these top 10 guys. Jeff Neal's going to be the pick, high degree of confidence. Moving on. What I think is the main card, but I think they shuffled it around. Yeah, it's the main card, yeah. They shuffled out. It seemed like they moved around the fights in the prelims. Who's going to be first? Who's going to be second? Shara Magomedov versus Armin Petrosyan. Shara Magomedov, 6'2", 73-inch reach, 14 wins, 0 losses, 0 draw, 30 years old. Armin Petrosyan, 6'3", 71-inch reach, 9 wins, 3 losses, 33 years old. I went back and forth on this one. You know, I originally when I looked at it, I picked Petrosyan, then I kind of switched over to Shara, and then I kind of was thinking about Petrosyan. This is going to be a real low level confidence pick, but Shara, he's a striker. He can't get taken down. They finally found a guy who doesn't like to take anyone down. Armin Petrosyan. He's a striker. The only way he's lost is by being taken to the ground and submitted, or just ground out on the ground and being out pointed. I have won every time I bet on a high level grappler. It seems like Petrosyan does lose, but whenever he's fought a striker, he seems like he wins. So he's a really tough guy to beat. You know, the narrative is they got Shara Magomedov, who only fights in that end of the world, who's got a big fan base in that end of the world. So they got him a striker that he could just strike against. Even Armin Petrosyan can get takedowns. I don't know how successful he's going to be because he's not really good at it. He might be able to get Shara down. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold him down. But this is going to be a difficult fight for Shara. Like, even though this should be a good setup fight as far he's fighting a striker. Petrosian's a serious striker. He's good. He's got a lot of volume. He knows also how to, to not be outpointed. There's a lot of good strikers that'll take a lot of shots and give back less shots, but maybe more quality shots. Petrosian's the kind of guy that'll strike right back, and he's got high volume. This is going to be a coin flip fight for me. I'm going to go with Shara Magomedov. It's going to be an entertaining fight. I think he's a little faster with the kicks. Not necessarily more powerful, but faster. And I think he might land a few more and a little more volume, just enough to get the judges to vote for him, because he's going to be a fan favorite in that end of the world. So when it can come down to a decision or a split decision, I'm just expecting Magomed to get this one. So otherwise, it's very tempting to have a dog shot at Petrosian on this one. And I've got it marked on the board. And, it's going to go down to a decision. So maybe you can approach it with that. Over 2.5, decision, goes to a decision kind of way. But this is going to be a closer fight than even the odds show. I think it's a coin flip fight. Petrosian could be the bet on this one because of the underdog. I'm going to pick Shara as the person who's going to get the win, but it's going to be really close. Entertaining as well. But then, can you think that Petrosian throws in a takedown or two? Because he has been working on that. And Magomed's he's not even going to go for a takedown. That's for sure. So Petrosian throws in a takedown or two, maybe steal around. But even if he steals around, are they going to give it to him? Especially if he doesn't do any damage on the ground. And we know how busy Magomed's is off his back. Yeah, I'm going to go with Shara. Decision's going to go to him. All right, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic. Magomed Ankalaev, 6'3", 75-inch reach. Alexander Rakic, 6'4", 78-inch reach. I mean, I would like the Serbian guy to win, but I don't know. I watched the Rakic fight. I think he's a little slow. He's got good leg kicks. Ankalaev's susceptible to good leg kicks. But Ankalaev has fought some pretty decent competition, and even though it was a controversy, I thought he should have been the champ. I thought he beat Juan Blachowicz on that draw. I thought he won that fight. Of course, after that, he only fought Johnny Walker, which is not saying much because Johnny Walker is really chinny, and he can't stop the takedowns. He is a pretty big favorite, and I think there's a reason for that. And I think Alexander Rakic just getting chinned recently, shows that he is susceptible to get knocked out. And when did that happen? That happened in April. And he got leg kicked, TKO'd. I think he hurt his leg against Juan Blachowicz, and then it was a pretty close fight. They fought about the same kind of level of competition, but I think Ankalaev, he just got more momentum. I think he's going to be a little quicker in there with his hands. I think Alexander Rakic is going to have his leg kicks, and I think if it's going to come down to the wrestling, Ankalaev's going to have the better wrestling. He's going to be lying on top of Alexander Rakic and stealing rounds. This is going to go to a decision. Rakic is pretty tough. Magomed's going to win the decision. Again, that end of the world. I mean, there's going to be a theme here. Have I picked anyone that's not from over there? Of the fighters? Yeah, no. I picked... Well, Bruno Silva, I picked over Nardiev. So that's one guy. Aslan, Basharat, Kennedy's from Africa, Abus, Horobai, Neil doesn't matter. Neither one of them are from there. Fakhridimov, Shara Magomedov, Magomed Ankalaev. Yeah, so except the only one I didn't pick is Nardiev, which is the lowest level confidence. So moving on, Lerone Murphy versus Dan Ige. Lerone Murphy, 5'9", 73.5-inch reach, 14 wins, 0 losses, 1 draw, 33 years old. Dan Ige, 5'7", 71-inch reach, 18 wins, 8 losses, 33 years old. I went back and forth on this one. I really wanted to pick Dan Ige. I really did. And I actually picked Dan Ige, then I kind of changed my mind. And here's the thing. Dan Ige is very talented, very tough, but he's always the gatekeeper for the top 10. That's Dan Ige right there. And he's going to give every single person a really good fight, and then he's going to lose a close decision. Lerone Murphy is a point fighter. This guy knows how to win close, boring fights. I don't like Lerone Murphy, but he beat Edson Barboza, and he handily beat Edson Barboza. Mind you, Edson Barboza is getting up there in age. We're waiting for him to slow down. I think that's the fight he did slow down in. So we can't give him too much credit for that. You know, and you got Dan Ige, who fought Edson Barboza to a split decision. And I think did he lose the split decision to Edson? But this was Edson Barboza like 4 years ago kind of thing, right? So it's a very different Edson Barboza. Lerone Murphy, he seems like he's really been taking his time moving up. He's 33 years old, 14-0. I mean, I don't like it. It was almost like he was hiding, but, you know, he definitely dominated Edson Barboza. He's going to have the longer reach. He's going to be taller. I think he's just going to outpoint Dan Ige. He has a chance. He seems like he's got some pretty good takedowns. He could take Ige down. I don't think he's going to be able to control him, but enough to maybe win the round. So it's going to be one of those close fights. Dan Ige is going to give him a really close fight. Lerone Murphy's going to win. Looking for a reason to pick Dan Ige, but the more I thought about it, the more I go, it looks like Murphy's going to get this, you know. And Ige is good, and he's exciting, and I love watching him fight. He can beat everybody, but it's the top 10 guys that literally got to go through Dan Ige. And if you look at the standings, Murphy's fighting down. So either the UFC's doing Ige a favor to fight a higher level guy to move up, or they're saving Murphy for a bigger fight, and by beating Dan Ige, he'll qualify for a bigger fight, like top 3 or something like that. So I'm going to go with Lerone Murphy on this one. He is a huge favorite. Is he a huge favorite? Not too huge, actually. He's bettable, but yeah. And I think it's going to go down to a decision. I don't think you're going to get Dan Ige out of there. Moving on. Oh, co-main event, Robert Whittaker versus Khamzat Chimaev. Robert Whittaker, 6 feet tall, 73.5-inch reach, 27 wins, 7 losses, 33 years old. Khamzat Chimaev, 6'2", 75-inch reach, 13 wins, 0 losses, 30 years old. I mean, we all know Chimaev came in with so much hype. He's taking everybody out, and you know, and then we also know that he fought Kamaru Usman in a short notice fight, and then, you know, it was a majority victory for him. You know, how does that look considering where Kamaru Usman is old? But, you know, I mean, just because he's old doesn't mean he's washed up. You got Kamaru Usman who was winning that first fight against Edwards until he got knocked out. And then you got Kamaru Usman who fought a close decision, majority decision, majority decision loss to... it was a split decision, lost Edwards the second time or something like that. So it was a close fight. So, you know, I mean, is he really washed up? So when he fought Chimaev dominated him on the ground, but Chimaev also got tired as the fight went on. I mean, he still held on and got a majority decision. I think, you know, he won that fight, but it was very competitive. So, you know, how would Usman do against Whittaker? But Whittaker's a much better striker than Usman, and he's got pretty good takedown defense. And the only question I have is, last time I watched Whittaker, he dominated that fight. I bet against him. I really think that he is chinny. I think that it didn't get tested. I think his striking's still on point. I think he's very dangerous. I think he caught Aliskerov. You know, flat-footed. It didn't go long enough to really see any Aliskerov, you know, return fire on this guy. Chimaev knocked out Aliskerov years ago. You know, Costa fought Whitaker, and through the whole fight, Costa was dangerous against Whitaker, and Whitaker just outpointed him, kind of ran around and avoided him. But winning the fight, Duplessis, TKO'd him. You know what? Whitaker is going to be a super, super high level boxer. I think if this was a 3-round fight, is this a 3-round fight or a 5-round fight? Is it a 3-round fight? Maybe. Is it? No. Is it a main event? Is it a? I think it's a 5-round fight. Now, this is where it's dangerous. Like, is Chimaev going to go out and not finish Whitaker in the first 2 rounds and then slow down and have Whitaker pick him apart and win a decision? That's going to be the question. So, but you know what? I like Chimaev. I think he's the future. I think Whitaker is a little chinny. I think there's a high degree of chance that Whitaker either gets caught and gets chinned and gets dropped and gets choked, or Chimaev takes him to the ground, even though Whitaker is hard to take down to the ground, and kind of manhandles him. And he kind of did that to Usman, and Usman's a really high-level wrestler. I don't think Whitaker will be able to withstand that like Usman did. My only concern is the 5-round fight. But as far as like just sheer physical ability, not necessarily fighting ability, but just physical ability, I'm going to go with Chimaev. Whitaker's a great boxer. I think he is. I mean, I still think he's chinny. I still think there's an issue there that we'll see. I'm going to go with Chimaev. Medium level confidence that he should win this one. I think it's his time, and now is his time to win it. It's in his end of the world. I don't even think it's going to go to a decision. Moving on. Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. Ilia Topuria, 5'7", 69-inch reach, 15 wins, 0 losses, 27 years old. Max Holloway, 5'11", 69-inch reach, 26 wins, 7 losses, 32 years old. I picked against Ilia, against Volkanovski. I was wrong. I picked against Max, against Gaethje. I was wrong. So, I don't know. The minus plus a minus is positive, right? So maybe I'll pick right on this one. So, Ilia Topuria. I thought he was losing the fight against Volk. The judges had it like that. I thought he was losing the fight. It was very close, but I think Volk just outlanded him. Volk's a very cerebral fighter. And Ilia just basically put a lot of pressure on him as the fight went on, and then hurt Volk, and Volk tried to stand his ground and throw some punches back, and he got caught with a big punch. This is Volk coming back from a head kick knockout against Makhachev, which everybody questions if it was too soon. So, where was this one? Sorry. Yeah, so he got KO'd by Makhachev, and then he fought 3 months later. And again, even with him fighting Makhachev when he lost, and then he jumped in only a few months later with no training to fight Makhachev again. Like, I just think he was just rushing things. I think he doesn't suffer the head kick KO. Ilia Topuria doesn't knock him out. I think it's a totally different fight. Ilia Topuria loses a decision. That's what I think. But Volkanovski has beat an out decision Holloway. And we also know Holloway takes a lot of shots. We also know he's got an amazing chin. Now, as far as, Topuria, he wasn't able to knock out Emmett. He came close. He's close to knocking him out. Mitchell, he hurt Mitchell, then he subbed him. Herbert, he knocked him out. Low-level guys. There's a chance that he could KO Holloway, but you're talking about a guy who's never been KO'd before. But things happen. He's 32 years old. Things can change. But as far as the height goes, he's going to have the advantage. Holloway's going to have the advantage from distance. Topuria has decent cardio. I think Holloway's got fantastic cardio. I don't really like Topuria, so take that into consideration when I'm saying this. But I'm going to pick Max Holloway to come back and beat Topuria, because I don't know if Topuria beat Volkanovski because Volkanovski beat Volkanovski because he came back too soon, or if he was too old. He is 36 years old. Was at the tail end of his career. We're expecting him to slow down, and coming off a head kick knockout 3 or 4 months before that, and then got beaten up bad and hit in the back of the head. I mean, the fight it didn't look good for Volkanovski with how much damage he took even after the head kick, and he got, pounded, kind of thing, right? Yeah, gonna go with Max, and everyone's loving Topuria, and Topuria's only path to victory is a knockout. And Max Holloway is going to be a hard guy to knock out. Hopefully he doesn't take as much punishment and absorb as many shots. Hopefully he's worked on his defense. That's the number one problem, is he does take a lot of shots to the head, which is dangerous, especially because Topuria's got a lot of power. He also is susceptible to leg kicks. Topuria's got pretty good leg kicks. I don't know how good Topuria is going to be at taking him down. He's got really good takedown defense. Looking at him, you got Holloway knocking out the Korean Zombie in the 3rd round, Gaethje in the 5th round. So granted, it's not early on; it's him wearing them down and then knocking them out, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go with Holloway. He's a pretty big underdog, so I don't know. It's a pretty good price for a guy who's that talented. And I'm still not sold on Topuria. And granted, that's what I said when he fought Volkanovski. And as the fight was going on, I thought I was right, because Volkanovski was staying away and winning these rounds. So, Topuria, if he's going to win, he has to knock out Holloway. If he doesn't knock out Holloway, I don't think he's going to win. Max Holloway by decision. Let's go to the board. All right. Everybody can see that, right? All right. Once again, not financial advice. Bet only what you can afford to lose. This is only my suggestions of my order from most confident to least confident. It switched around a little bit, so it's all a matter of opinion. Do your own research and take what I got here and maybe combine it with what you got and place your bets, and maybe we can do something. High degree of confidence. Basharat knows how to win points. He's going to be the one instigating the striking. He's going to be the one instigating the interactions. Hugo just seems like he's accepting of being on the back foot. He's still dangerous. Basharat by decision. High degree of confidence. Not bettable. If you're going to bet, one really good bet would be Hugo by sub. I don't even know what that is. I know Hugo is a plus 450. I think Hugo by sub would be huge. That'd be a decent bet. It's a long shot, but the Chikwe by decision. Yeah, I just don't like betting on period, but the decision prop could be interesting. Ankalaev minus 390. Decision's close to that as well. People are expecting him to win by decision. Or by decision minus 320. Again, decision's close to that. These are the fights they're expecting to go all the way. Neal by decision. Again, the sign is really tough. Hard to get out of there. Should win. Murphy, decision. Ige, definitely tough. Nobody's getting him out of there. Fakhretdinov, again, questionable in the 3rd round, but then we don't really know anything about this new guy anyway. So he's going to be a mid-level confidence pick. Chimaev, mid-level confident pick. I'm thinking that maybe that chin will show itself. I mean, it could be a club and sub, but it's going to be some kind of club and to disorientate Whitaker. Abus Magomedov, a very dangerous fight. He's got the tools to win this on the feet, in a decision, outstriking. Ferreira, super dangerous, wins all his fight by KO. That's his path to victory, is the KO. Low level confidence just because it's, I mean, Ferreira showed that he can KO anybody. Hopefully Abus is smart, stays away. Shara Magomedov by decision, Petrosian by decision. I'm picking Shara for a decision, probably a split decision. Petrosian is a very good striker. This is going to be a pure striking battle. Can go either way. I'm going to go with Shara, who's a local favorite. But the plus 135 on Petrosian doesn't look bad. Holloway, low level confidence. Still not the lowest level confidence, just because I'm really familiar with his fighting style and his fighting style. And I think Holloway can win a decision. Topuria's only path to victory is going to be by KO, if that's something you want to do. But I think Holloway by decision could be a way. Moving on, Aslan versus Cerqueira. This fight's not going to go to the end. I can't see it. I think they both want to finish it. This guy's coming out from low-level, competition. Aslan has been KOing. That's how he likes to win. He's going to go out, and I think they've got this guy in just for him to get another KO, right? That's what I'm thinking, but you never know. We don't even know anything about this guy. For all we know, he could be the real deal and end up KOing Aslan. But Aslan's going to be the pick. Low-level confidence for highly unknown fight. Highly unknown fighter. Moving on. Lowest level confidence. Nardiev, he was in the UFC. He seemed pretty good. We don't even know what he looks like right now. He seems like he hasn't been doing that well and dominating that well outside the UFC, but he has fought some decent competition that has beat him. Silva's going to be the pick. If I had to pick, I think Silva could KO him. Nardiev, if it goes to a decision, I would definitely be worried, because I think Nardiev at that point might be able to win that. But Silva by KO is an option. That's it. Yeah. There's a few other prop bets that I haven't really gone over, but this is what it is. Fun times. This fight's going to be really early as far as North America goes, so it's going to be right in the morning. It's kind of nice. You wake up really early in the morning, watch the fights, get it out of the way, and have your whole day ahead of you. So, nevertheless, thank you very much for joining me. Hit the like button if you like the content. Subscribe if you want to get notified when the next videos are coming out. I do the pay-per-views for sure. I try to get maybe an extra video if I can, depending if it's a bye week or not, if I get the time to do it. But otherwise, good luck on these fights. Good luck on these bets. And please leave a comment below. Let me know what you agree with, what you don't agree with. And if you have any other comments, please let me know. Good luck this weekend, guys.